Hello YouTube. This is my review of the Iron Man 2 flash drive. Now it's not going to be a review about how cool it is because there's already a lot of reviews about that. No, I want to talk about how it's not as good. I mean, it's not as great as people say it is, although it is a pretty good flash drive, but it's not really that good actually. For what it's worth, I honestly would not buy it. Um, They're 8 gigs, and I've seen them for about $32. You can buy an 8 gig for about $6 off Amazon for a really good popular flash drive. It doesn't look as cool as Iron Man with Iron Man face, it's just a simple one, but it would actually be better in almost every way besides looks. But okay, so why I didn't like this flash drive as well? Well, first of all, it's made completely out of, I mean, all the red parts is made out of plastic, um, and the gold part is actually made out of metal, but I had assumed that the metal would be quite thicker and a little bit heavier, would give it a little bit of weight, so I thought that, it's freaking Iron Man, Iron Man's like is like a shield on, a human body shield on you, so I would assume that this flash drive might be quite solid, but it's actually like very hollow, and the metal is actually very thin metal. It's not thick, in no way ever going to be protective. I mean, a plastic such as this is already even, I bet, is even stronger than this metal, because I can put pressure on this and feel like I'm not going to break it. But um, this, I mean, I just like hit it or I barely tap it and I feel like I'm gonna break it. I can squeeze this. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's basically the hollowness of it. I mean, I mean, you would expect that this costing like, you know, $20. I mean, this one's 4 gig, so it was $20. I got it for just a bit cheaper because I got lucky, but it was around $21, and an 8 gig is $32. And I think there's a 32 gig one. I'm not too sure how much it is, but I know it's a lot more expensive. But to I mean, you can buy a flash drive that's 8 gig for $6, and it's like one of the most popular, like Kingston's flash drive. That's really good, for just $6. So when you're paying this, you're really paying for the looks, and you would hope that they would really spend time on trying to make this thing worth its money, worth its money. But it's so hollow, and you know, there's a lot of fake ones of these out there made just from China, but this one is for real, official, because you could tell because it's got the infoThink logo, and the Marvel, because this is and yeah, that logo is right there. And also came in this box, or this little container, this really nice container. So it's official with the Marvel sticker, official Marvel sticker. So yeah, it's official. But I thought that this would be a lot better quality, but it's not very good quality, from what it looks like it would be. I really think that they could have. I mean, with that money you paid for this, I mean, you would expect that this thing should like entirely be made out of metal, because it's not. This thing's small. It's ridiculously small. It's as big as the cap, almost a little bit bigger than the cap of this thing, and they couldn't make it all metal. I mean, ridiculous. But even if they couldn't make it metal and they still made this plastic, they could have made it not hollow and like made this part at least like pretty thick metal so it's strong, but not really. But yeah, they didn't do that. This right here is also, don't really like the fact that it's kind of opens up. I mean, it retracts and you can retract it back in, which is cool, but I kind of don't like that it's open right here, because if you have it like kind of standing with your pencils or something, like maybe you put it in with the bag with all the pencils, sometimes they break and they, the little charcoal pieces off of it, so they might fall in here and might go in and mess it up. So that's something that I wish that they would have tried to put some protective case on there. I mean, I've seen some flash drive had that before, so that's where I kind of got the idea. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I got this one. I mean, I got this. Oh, yeah, I think I've said it already how much I got. I got it for 21, and kind of regret it a little. The flash drive, does it work inside? Yeah, of course, it works perfectly fine. One of the Okay, before I go into the biggest problem about this, I'm gonna talk about well, the lights on here, the eyes do light up when you plug it in. I like that feature. I don't see that on a lot of flash drives anymore. They don't, you know, you don't see flash drives light up that often anymore when like you're plugging it in or saving. They're pretty solid, and you just expect, you just assume that it's in and it's working. But this one does light up its eyes, so it's pretty cool. The only downside though is that it doesn't light up as bright as you think it does. If you're using this during daytime in a pretty well lit room, you're barely gonna see it light up. So it's not really as cool as you think. In a dark room, yeah, it'll be cool. But yeah, it doesn't light up as bright as you think. Now, okay, on to the biggest problem about this flash drive. Now, I'm not sure if it's because mine's is defective in itself, or if is it because just the way this Iron Man thing is engineered. Now, because this thing works pretty well, I feel like it's not, the problem is not that it's defective, but the way it's engineered. But then again, I mean, I was talking to the seller off eBay, and he didn't have any he's never had any problems with other people with the problem I had with this. So it kind of makes me wonder whether this one's defective, or maybe it's just the way they engineered it. I feel like it's probably the way they engineered it, but again, no one's reported any the problems like I have. So my problem with this was that, okay, well, let's start off. When you push this in, right, and it comes out, it technically locks in place so that you can plug it in. But soon after, it starts causing a problem where, like, let's say if the port hole, the USB port hole, is very tight, just like kind of like use my hand as an example, and you try to shove the flash drive in, it closes in already. Like, I didn't even touch the switch, and it already goes in. So, even though it's supposed to lock in place, I mean, technically it's locked, right? But let's say I plug it in here, it already does it, and it's like, what? Okay, well, let's test it all on my laptop right now. Now, when I first got this, it went perfectly fine, but it only took a while before it started retracting back. Okay, so the USB port's right here. Okay, so watch me try to plug this in. See, it looks like it plugged in, but technically it just retracted back. So one thing that I had to do that I found annoying was now I have to as you can see, the switch is right here. I have to always place my hand under the switch and make sure I hold it so that it doesn't retract back. And then you plug it in. Now, as you can see, it's really plugged in for sure now. I mean, you can see it's maxing its hit. It's not going in deeper, but it still hasn't lit up. That means that the flash drive has not been fully put in. So I have to go under it, and I kind of have to shove it in a little bit, even extra. Okay, because I mean, for some reason it worked on my laptop pretty well, but when I do that, I just had to tap it. I mean, not tap. I kind of had to push it a little bit, and let's see if it actually registered though. Yes, it's registered. It's right there, and all my files are there. Okay, so we know that. Okay, it works. I mean, it works, and I just have to shove like that a little bit, which is kind of annoying. But let me show a very big problem I had with this flash drive. Now with the laptops, it worked fine on mine's, but when I try to use it on desktop computers, it's very, very hard for some reason. I'm not sure. I mean, I think it's the way that the desktop's USBs are engineered, that if there are a certain type of USB style, it's going to be really hard to get it. Like, for example, you see this right here? If your USB looks like that, kind of like that, then it's kind of hard to register it. So I'm gonna, hold it on the bottom and plug it in. Kind of hard to do this with one hand. Okay. Okay. Alright. Okay, so I plugged it in. Obviously the eyes didn't light up, so that means that, you know, I'm not gonna see it in here just yet. Yeah, you can see it's not. Usually it appears right here, but it's not there. So I have to put pressure on it. But no matter, I mean, it's really hard. I mean, with desktops, I've been at when I'm at my school. I mean, there's like a whole computer lab, and I'm just like jabbing it in every minute trying to get this to work. Uh, but it has a hard time, and I think it's the way that the USB port is designed. It just doesn't come out long enough, you know. And I mean, I can try to force it, but I'll risk destroying the storage and destroying the this desktop. Yeah, but see, for example, so like if there, it's kind of hard to see, but if the USB port is kind of like this, which it is like this on a lot of desktops, then you're pretty much screwed for this kind of flash drive. But this USB actually I mean, this computer actually has extra USB slots down there, and if you can kind of see it, they're actually a little bit they actually come out a little bit more, so that actually helps this flash drive, because then, you know, it can register. See, now it's not a problem anymore. I mean, it works. Now it works fine. It lights up, so, you know, pops up, and open the files. You know, yeah, it's there. Okay, so it actually appeared right here. Yeah. So I mean, as you can see, it does work on. I mean, in general, these flash drives do work. I mean, this, at least this one did work, but it doesn't work as well when on like certain USB ports that are like built like kind of inwards, I guess. Um, so yeah, I mean, that was a big problem for this. I mean, that was a big problem that I had, because I took this to school, and, you know, I had my whole projects on here, and then, you know, next thing you know, I go up and get ready to present, and, you know, I stick my flash drive in there, you know, and it doesn't work, and I'm just like, what the heck? And I was like, I didn't, you know, I almost, you know, I almost got into big trouble, you know, but the professor was okay. But I mean, it was kind of embarrassing too, because I was like, you know, popping out with a super cool flash drive, and then it's like, oh wait, it doesn't even work, and you know, it's like ridiculous. I mean, it's like, oh, that flash drive is all for a show, you know. They're like, oh, how much you get that for, you know? And then you're like, oh shit, you know, you bought this for like $20. It only got 4 gig, and it doesn't even work right, you know. It's like you just got cheated, you know. You just get that feeling, and it's just like hella embarrassing. So, you know, I mean, this flash drive is just like basically almost for show. It's not even. I guess. I mean, it does. I mean, not gonna lie, it does work. Honestly, it does. The USB inside of there works, and it works good, I guess. It works alright. But the way this thing was engineered, doesn't allow it to connect too well with the USB ports, which is a huge problem, because then how are you gonna, you know, get your data or pull your data out when you need it? You know, you can't have it, you know, working sometimes, and you can't have it working half the other times. You know, you need something that's reliable. And so, you know, I would say that this is definitely was not as good as I thought it was, and, you know, I wanted to point that out and show people, because, you know, the other reviews out there, no one seemed to point these things out. And yeah, I mean, that's, you know, you just can't be forcing it in all the time into a PC just to get it to work, because if you do that, you know, you might risk damaging all the storage devices in here, and, you know, and all the storage devices in the PC. But I mean, in terms of looks, this was tight, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. And they definitely need the makers of this definitely need to like really quit being cheap and really put more more pieces into here, like metal, make it more solid like Iron Man. All right, well, if you guys have any questions, um, leave a comment or a question below. You know, I know this review took kind of long, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. All right, peace out.